everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about where to buy Lolita items. The first thing you need to know about Lolita is it is not a cheap fashion. Brands like Forever 21 and Charlotte Russe have made our perception of what fashion is a little bit skewed. Lolita is not a fast fashion, so therefore it is not cheap or mass produced. It's something that is of higher quality and something that you would spend a little more time to make look good. When first starting off in Lolita fashion, the most important thing you can possibly do is to do your research. Really study up on the style and figure out what it is that you like about it. Are you going to be wearing sweet Lolita with lots of pastels and cute motifs? Are you more into classic Lolita and its Victorian inspiration? Or will you be wearing Gothic Lolita? These are things that you should really think about and give yourself time to decide on before spending any money on Lolita. Because as most people know, or if you don't know, Lolita is anything but cheap. It takes a lot of time and effort to put together these outfits as well as the money to buy these items. Lolita is in no way a cheap fashion, and that's something that I believe everybody should know when they get started in it. Can it be affordable? Absolutely, but in no way is it truly a cheap style. So the first way you can purchase Lolita is to buy things brand new. This includes buying things from the major brands such as Angelic Pretty, Baby the Stars Shine Bright, Innocent World, Metamorphose Tente de Fille, or Moi Meme Moitie. I very well might have said those incorrectly as I don't speak French, but that's okay. Major brands are a very safe and surefire way to know that you're going to be getting a relatively great quality item. But with that quality also comes a higher price point. So it's good to look into the major brands as well as indie brands to decide what best fits your budget. Another way of shopping is to shop indie brands or off brands. Indie brands include brands like Infanta, Chess Story, and Lady Sloth. Most of these can be found on a site called Taobao, which is more or less like Chinese eBay. Unfortunately, because Taobao does not ship outside of China, it's actually pretty difficult to get things from them on your own. I prefer to buy things from Tao Bao Re-seller websites. The markup is already in the price, and I know that they have the item in stock, and it's a lot easier and more intuitive to shop this way. While most of these items are generally pretty good quality, it's also important to keep an eye out for red flags such as shiny material or things that say the word costume on them. You completely want to avoid them as they generally don't have the quality that other pieces that you can find do. The second way you can purchase Lolita fashion, and is one of the most popular ways, is to buy things secondhand. There are many different options for buying secondhand, such as an established website like Closet Child or Wunderwelt, both of which I have purchased from myself and thoroughly love them. They're more or less like a consignment store for Lolita clothing, where you can buy secondhand brand items for much cheaper than their original prices and are generally in incredibly good quality. Another way to step into the secondhand market is to go on something called Lace Market. Lace Market is very comparable to eBay in that it has various auctions and buy it nows, much like eBay, but it's centered around Lolita fashion itself. You can create an account and buy different items from other sellers across the world who are also selling Lolita style. Something to be aware of when you're buying from Lace Market is to check a seller's feedback. This is a good indication on what kind of seller they are. Are they a good seller? Are they a scammer? You don't really know the person that you're buying it from until generally you've already given them your money. So definitely research the seller, look at their feedback, and if they don't have any feedback, try not to buy any high brand items as it can be really difficult to get your money back. PayPal is the only way you should ever pay a seller on Lace Market. And when you purchase through PayPal, always make sure that you are using an invoice and paying for goods and services. Never send a seller you don't know money as a gift, even if it helps them by decreasing their PayPal fees that they get on their sold items. It doesn't protect you whatsoever as a buyer, and it's really important to make sure that you have that buyer protection in case something goes wrong. Now that you know where to buy Lolita, there's a few more things you should know before you start purchasing. Another thing to note is sizing. It's a really good idea to know your measurements, and the best way to know them is actually in centimeters. Most of these sellers are international, and centimeters are a lot more accurate way to know if something's going to fit you properly or not. The next thing to know about sizing is when buying shoes, a lot of brands sell in European sizes or Japanese sizes. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to a shoe conversion chart down in the description. And those are my tips for where to buy Lolita items. I hope this video was helpful, informative, and somewhat entertaining. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!